I knew where Edna was, I would tell you. If you tell him to turn that off, I will talk to you a little more freely.
It all started on August 28, 2021. Dispatch in Travelers Rest, South Carolina, received a 911 call reporting a missing woman. That woman was 81-year-old Edna Suttles. Edna had not been heard from since the day prior, and when her son drove to her home to check on her, he found her dog abandoned and her vehicle missing. This was nothing like Edna, and no sign of forced entry at the home. The mystery got very deep very quickly.
Grapevine County 911, what's your emergency?
Okay, the thing is, a fitter was supposed to show up to be with my mom today, and she's in her 80s. Her name is Edna Suttle, and she didn't show up. This is not like her. She shows up like clockwork, so something's wrong.
Despite multiple welfare check attempts, visiting local hospitals, running her license plate, and searching her home, nothing pointed to what could have happened to Edna. Not until a full week later, when her 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee was located on security footage in a Best Western parking lot. But it wasn't Edna that investigators saw getting out of the car. Instead, it was an older white male, later identified as Daniel Printz, a traveling handyman from Bostic, North Carolina. Footage also showed Daniel wiping down the vehicle not once, but twice before exiting the parking lot on foot. Investigators followed CCTV footage to backtrack Daniel's journey, showing him earlier that morning at a nearby Food Lion, where he used his name-associated club card to purchase some yogurt. Next thing Daniel knows, police are paying him a visit.
Totally cooperating, just relax. Not doing anything, not cooperating. Oh my God. Stand up on your feet. Yeah. Sir, I will be very cooperative. All right, let's try that, please.
And that's what brings him here, to the Greenville County Sheriff's Office in the hot seat.
I'll talk to you about August 27th, 2021 this year.
What day of the week was that?
It was a Friday.
Okay.
Where are you on that day? What's your typical Fridays like?
Some Fridays I go do jobs, some Fridays I stay home, some Fridays I go look at jobs, I do all sorts of things. Days run together for me because I don't have a set schedule.
Fair enough. Whereas the jobs come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so specifically the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
What, 2 weeks ago? Do you remember where you were at?
Not specifically.
Where do you think you were at?
I've been going all over the place. I've been back and forth to Charlotte. I've been down to South Carolina.
Where's your jobs in South Carolina taking you?
Actually, I was down to Travelers Rest, but I don't know if it was Friday or Thursday. I know I'd been there earlier that week.
Okay.
It's interesting that he would specifically mention Travelers Rest in this way, considering he supposedly has no clue that he's here about a missing woman from that area.
What kind of job were you working on?
I wasn't.
You wasn't?
I wasn't. This lady had talked to me several times. I'd been down to her house 2 or 3 times. We kind of got to be friends. This woman has so many damn problems, mostly her daughter.
Yeah.
She said she needed to have money at one point in time to help her daughter because her daughter was in jail. Then she needed money another time because she was hiring a private investigator because her son-in-law she talked to me all kinds of stuff about it. We got to be pretty good friends about stuff like that.
So
Why are we...
What you're telling us is that's not you on the 27th? Food Line parking lot, Travelers Rest?
I don't think so.
That's not you?
That's me. Where's that?
Food Line, August 27th, 2021, 9:23.
Okay.
22 seconds. Ringing a bell?
Yep. Yeah, I went down to Food Lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you doing down there that day?
She wanted me to look at some stuff at her house.
Okay.
And she picked me up at Food Lion because she wanted me with her when she was gonna go meet some guy God dang it, private investigator.
Okay, yeah. Tell us about that.
She wanted me to meet her down there.
Okay.
She was nervous because she says, I'm not sure I trust this guy. And she knows I've been in the military. And she says, will you meet me? And I go, yeah. She wanted me to see if this guy was going to meet her where he was supposed to meet her.
Do you know where?
There was a hotel lobby that he had finally said, meet me at the hotel.
Okay.
She says, drive up there and see if he's there. And I drove up there, and things are starting to sound really squirrely to me. So she says, when you go up there, I want you to drive me around and take care of stuff.
Okay. So you drove her around?
I drove her around.
Where'd y'all drive to?
I wound up driving her back to her house. Because
Okay.
she said her daughter was coming up and she'd have her daughter help her pick up the car and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Daniel repeatedly pushes this story about a mysterious, shady private investigator. Each time he's confronted with a piece of information that he can't explain, Daniel will suddenly remember a new detail about this mystery man. But investigators aren't fooled.
Yeah, I told you I've been down there Thursday or Friday.
Well, at first you weren't sure about that, but, I'm glad we got that rectified.
Again, Daniel quickly tries to take back control.
All I know is, yes, I was with her. Yes, I tried to help the lady out. I got tired of being drug all over the place. I took her home and I left.
So,
You guys said I did something to this lady?
we don't know. That's why we're trying to find it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
You can tell me where to look.
Honest engine. If I knew where Edna was, I would tell you.
Daniel's memory is also magically jogged in response to bait dangled by investigators.
So that's y'all coming down 25, you and her together? Back towards the hotel?
It could be.
Okay, because that's their car. That's about 13:45 on the 27th.
Okay.
So you're with her there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not saying yeah, I'm just saying that could be her.
Yeah, here's a different angle, but I mean, we've watched this car. Right?
Okay.
Here's y'all in the hotel parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah? Oh, look. There's y'all backing in.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of different copies of it. Backing in.
Yeah.
Oh, look. You get out. Nobody else gets out.
I told you that.
You're walking around the car.
Yeah.
You wipe the entire car down.
Because I was worried.
You were worried. There's you walking across the parking lot in front of Little Caesars.
Mm-hmm.
And there's you getting back into your car and driving away. What's that bag you got?
I don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue? What about that? Is that more of a bigger, better blown up? Her family is desperately looking for her.
She's missing right now.
Yes, Dan, where is Edna?
I don't have a clue.
Yes,
I dropped her off at her house.
Dan, please listen. You did not drop her off at her house. We have followed that car the entire day up and down 25.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of minutes that are unaccounted for that are not by her house. Okay?
Which car? Mine or hers?
Dan, stop playing games. You know what we're
When I
talking
got,
about.
okay, I can help you here.
Okay.
You gotta give me a second. You gotta let me answer the questions when they're asked.
In reality, Daniel can be shown exiting the food line that morning after purchasing yogurt. He waves at Edna, who has arrived by now and is sitting stalled in her Jeep Grand Cherokee. Daniel makes a stop at his own car before walking back over to Edna and getting in the passenger seat. The Grand Cherokee exits the parking lot. Sometime after this, Edna calls a family member from the home phone and briefly speaks to them. However, her vehicle can then be seen re-exiting her property and returning to the food line. Daniel gets out, returns to his vehicle, and moves it parallel to Edna's. Upon close inspection, a blonde head can be seen moving from the passenger side of the Grand Cherokee to the passenger side of Daniel's. Yet when he steps out of the way, no one is seen sitting in that spot. Daniel then gets back in the Grand Cherokee and drives away, where it is eventually found in the parking lot at the hotel.
Let's go back to why you wiped the car down. What you said you were worried about what?
The only thing I did was because I knew I'd been in and out of her car all the time with her. I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm gonna just leave this thing here because she's got somebody that's after her.
Who would be after her?
That guy with the fucking truck. She said she didn't trust him.
The PI?
Yeah.
Your vehicle, that silver car, going straight up 25 and not stopping at her house.
That's not true.
It is true.
I
Dan.
stopped at her house.
What's your wife gonna think about this?
Well, my wife would be very upset if I had done something, but I didn't, and I don't know where Edna is. When I dropped her vehicle off looking for the guy, she said she wanted me to take her and drive around in my vehicle. So I left her vehicle. I went down to Food Lion, and she was in my vehicle with me. And I dropped her off at home. I'm good to go because she's got cameras. It'll show that I dropped her off.
You talking about her house cameras?
Mm-hmm.
That don't work.
What? No, come on, man.
I have plugged it.
She told me that those cameras were there to track.
Their batteries are dead.
I dropped her off. She was going to have her daughter take her back to get her vehicle when she was done.
Meanwhile, search warrants obtained for Printz property blow away his poorly spun lies and reveal a pattern of predatory behavior. Multiple firearms and boxes of ammunition were located on the property. Serial numbers printed on those firearms have been removed. Illegal in its own right, but more so due to the fact that Daniel wasn't supposed to have any firearms at all. He was a convicted felon.
I was locked up for a kidnapping charge.
Okay.
And I did 13 and a half years for that.
Additionally, investigators discover credit cards, ID cards, and other documents belonging to Nancy Rigo. It turns out that years ago, Nancy had responded to a handyman ad in the white paper, put out by none other than Daniel Printz. Within 2 years, both her and her elderly mother were dead, one by gunshot, the other by prescription drug overdose. Investigations that followed found Daniel responsible for both deaths. They also found a cell phone belonging to missing woman Lee Goodman, on which were photos of the two. In light of this new evidence, certain statements Daniel made in his interrogation take a whole new, darker meaning.
And the thing is, she's so sweet and so nice, and you want to help her.
What started as a missing person investigation had, it seemed, unearthed a serial killer. But the question remained, what had happened to Edna?
So when you were driving her back, did she say anything?
Back to the house?
Yeah.
She said, I'm feeling sick to my stomach, I really need my medication.
What kind of medicine?
I don't know. When I left there, I went like this.
Okay, so you turn left and got went
Yep.
right here. Okay. So check this out. Her house. Right there.
Yeah.
This is an antique shop.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They have a camera overlooking her driveway. Your car then pulled out and made a left-hand turn.
Yet Daniel continued to find excuse after excuse, blaming faulty memory or misspeaking for these inconsistencies all the way to the end.
I'm sorry.
You're good, man.
I wish I could have helped you more.
Despite the cocky way he strolled out of the interrogation room, Daniel wouldn't be going anywhere. While they didn't have enough to hold him for murder yet, they did have enough to charge and hold him for vehicle theft. But it wouldn't be investigators who turned up the final critical evidence. Instead, it was Daniel's wife. While preparing to sell the house, Miss Printz had some friends over to tidy up the property, and what they found confirmed her worst fears. A bee-box full of Edna's prescriptions and ID cards, and a black trash bag containing jewelry, shoes, and a yogurt cup. The same yogurt cup he had bought the morning of Edna's disappearance. Forensic tests of that yogurt cup came back positive for Edna's DNA and painkillers, which were a perfect match for pills found inside Printz's home. Finally, investigators are able to charge Printz with murder 1, and Daniel is forced to drop the act. But that doesn't mean he's gotten any less cocky.
There are things that have to happen, and there are things that are going to happen. And I'm a realist, and I have acceptance with this. I would like a little bit of control in how they happen. If you tell them to turn that off, I will talk to you a little more freely.
Faced with overwhelming evidence, Printz makes a chilling off-camera confession, unveiling the depths of his crimes and leading investigators to the remains of his victims. Daniel admitted to the murders of all 4 women in return for a life sentence, thus avoiding the death penalty. He also led law enforcement to a wooded area near his home in Bostic, North Carolina, to a pile of sticks and dirt, beneath which lay the body of Edna Studdles. While Edna was returned to her family for the burial she deserved, Daniel was remanded to USP Hazleton Federal Correctional Complex in Preston County, West Virginia, where he will spend the rest of his days. The case of Daniel Printz serves as a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind a familiar face.